How you doing, Greg?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I am so happy to have you on here because I think everybody is thinking as fall comes in and we're hearing a little bit of twinkle about the feds maybe lowering the rate a little percentage or something. And so I thought, let's get you on here and talk to people to tell people what is going on currently with the rates.
Yeah, it's much like we talked last time. It's not going to be a straight down drop. It's going to be volatile at least through the election, and we're seeing a little bit of that volatility still, but the trend is still lower. The CPI numbers that came in yesterday really have kind of forced the Fed's hands. The market is poised for a 0.25% drop next week, and I think we're going to see the market make a significant change over the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's going to open up the doors for some buyers that have been kind of sitting on the sidelines with waiting for rates to change and that kind of stuff.
So you expect them to lower just a little bit?
I do. And I think it's going to be a progressive lowering. I think we'll see a quarter this time. I think we'll probably see a quarter at the next meeting. They may pause the third meeting, and then I think we'll probably see another drop depending on what economics are looking like. But I don't think this is going to be a one-time occurrence.
All right. So, Greg, the other thing we wanted to talk about today is some kind of, when people are, I think we always think, oh, I need a single family house and da 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 da. There's a lot of options you can do to make your house also a rental property as well. And we're bringing on Cassie Smith with Keller Williams, who understands how this works. So the three of us can have this conversation because I don't think I ever thought about this, but now when you really think of buying a duplex, living in half of it, renting out the other half, or buying a rental, those are investments that are not going to go the negative direction. Cassie,
yeah. So quick legal disclaimer: Cassie and I have worked together on some transactions, and us appearing together is neither an endorsement or a referral to either party. Legal disclaimer done.
Okay, we got that out of the way. So now nobody can get in trouble at all, except for me. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one. So Cassie, why is this such a good option for people to look at, something that may not be, the norm?
I think everyone's first thought when they're entering the market, especially as a first-time home buyer, is it's kind of what you said. I want to look for a single-family home. I think it's kind of a different angle that can really give first-time home buyers a leg up on affording something, but also just standing out from the general masses that are trying to buy for expanding their search to multifamily.
And when you're talking multifamily, that's a quad, that's a duplex, anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's under 4 units. Yeah, 4 or under units.
Is that what people are doing, Cassie? Is like buying a home or a fourplex or something, living in one of them, and then renting out the others? So other people are basically paying your rent.
I think the big thing with this, Rick, is that from the beginning of my career, I've always looked at my job as helping families create and retain generational wealth. And what I see this being such a benefit for first-time home buyers is they can live in one unit and get owner-occupied rates, which are substantially lower than rental rates.
Okay, is that for the whole complex then?
For the whole complex.
Oh, okay.
Because it's one mortgage. But depending on the loan program that we utilize, we can actually have the appraisal include a calculation for market rents that can be calculated into their debt to income ratio. And so if you look at the possibility of buying a duplex or a triplex and you're living on one side, your mortgage payment essentially just got cut in half.
Yeah.
Or got cut in a third. And Cassie, I'll let you talk to what's going on with appreciation rates, but the fact of the matter is, if you got somebody else paying that for you, you're paying it down faster. Number 2, you're looking at appreciation rates where you're eliminating the cost of waiting.
Just working with people that are similar to me in age range and in buying their first property, just saying, it's not impossible to get into something that you can afford. And not only that, but eventually make money on, or maybe you make money on it right away too. I mean, I think the people that are looking as their first home as more than just a home, but an investment as well, is kind of the correct mentality that we need to educate people on is this is something that you can potentially keep forever and keep expanding if that's what your heart desires. Is what Greg touched on, generational wealth.
See, and I hadn't thought about this till Greg sent the email saying, here's what I want to talk about. But yeah, you could buy a lesser home, not your dream home, but a lesser home that you're thinking this is going to be a rental in 5 years. And you live there, fix it up, get it going, build some equity in that. And then you move on, you buy another house that's your home and you rent that one out. I wish I had thought of this 35 years ago.
Well, play with this one with me for a minute. You know, I'm a math guy, Rick. So I ran the numbers down. Current appreciation rates nationwide are running about 4%. Okay. So if I bought a $400,000 duplex today and I rent the other side of that out, in 12 months, that duplex is going to appreciate in the term of about $14,000 a year.
Wow.
Okay. Now, what happens if I buy a duplex as my first house? I rent out the other side, and then I get ready to move out of that duplex and go buy another house. Well, what if I buy another duplex or another fourplex 2 years later, 3 years later? Live in it, rent the other sides out. Now I go buy a single family house. I've got 6 streams of rental revenue coming in, and I'm not even working a job yet.
Yeah. I know a guy I used to work with at the TV station, and that's what Al did all the time. He bought up homes and fixed them up and did that. Cassie, what is the biggest, because you're a realtor, you're out there on the field. What are people hesitating right now? Or I talked to a realtor friend of mine here where I live, and she said, no, I mean, she goes, people are a little hesitant, but she goes, houses are still moving. What are you experiencing with people prior to an election? Does that get people all freaked out when this is all waiting to find out what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I will say certainly when traditionally spring goes up and summer goes even more up, I'll say in the springtime there was a lot of hesitancy in the beginning of the year. And I think slowly it's kind of transitioned, especially as we sort of saw rates go down, it sort of transitioned into a little bit more stability. I mean, summer homes were still moving. It's always going to be kind of that rush period. But I would say there's still that small percentage of people that are just waiting. And I think there's always going to be some people that are waiting, but I just think that's where the education comes through of like, there's always going to be something. It's an election year. You know, there's uneasiness, but the right time to buy a home is always when you need the home is right now.
Right.
Well, I think the other thing, Cassie, on that is the cost of waiting. When I look at the average appreciation rate of 4%, if I wait 12 months, that house just cost me $14,000 more and about $100 a month more on my mortgage payment. And that's equity I didn't gain. It's equity that I lost. So instead of gaining that $14,000 on a $400,000 house, I lost $14,000. So that's $28,000 I lost, right? Not to mention my mortgage payment's going to be $100 or $150 higher just because I'm taking a larger mortgage because I waited to buy at a higher price. I think
we saw kind of a little bit of a peak in, I think it was March, of just over 500,000. Since then, it's kind of teetered, but still staying about 480. So just a hair under that. But I would say what I like to say to people is it's not dropping. It's just kind of finally doing that leveling out. We're not strongly inclining anymore, but we're not seeing a strong drop either. We're just seeing, kind of steady ticking between, a smaller amount.
How badly, this is a kind of off, well, it's not really off topic, but I think it's on topic, but how badly does Montana need affordable housing?
Go ahead, Cassie.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because working with first-time home buyers, with that being one of my passions, it's tough seeing people get priced out, and especially when rates started to climb, it just kind of shortened that budget little by little. And so, I mean, I'd say it's a very prevalent thing right now in Montana and Helena. And I think, yeah, it's a very big issue.
Well, and I think personally, this is why buying a first-time home buyer buying a multi-unit, or at least with an ADU that they can rent out, is so critical. I think it's such a good move, is because they can offset that expense by letting somebody else pay for it.
Right. And to buying your own home that you're going to live in is a great investment, but it's not really money. You're not having any income come in out of that. You know what I mean? So if you go, okay, honey, we're not going to buy our dream house right now, but we're going to buy something that's comfortable and good, but we're going to have neighbors and they're going to be helping pay our mortgage. And it's better than sitting there paying someone else's rent for them.
Well, the reality is, Rick, you're going to pay a mortgage, whether it's your own or somebody else's.
Right.
You're paying a mortgage to put a roof over your head. You might as well do it for yourself.
Right. That's a good way to look at it, because I think a lot of people get really, like, wow, I just don't, I don't want to put that money out there. And it's like, well, I'd rather be paying $2,500 a month in my own pocket to pay off my own mortgage than to pay Billy John's. Cassie, you look like you were going to say something.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to point out that, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Of course, everyone wanted to have bought right before the COVID jump, but just even buying now, Greg talks about appreciation in the value of the property, but not to mention that Montana and like Helena, Missoula, surrounding areas were one of the biggest growers in rental prices too. So not only are you having people pay your mortgage, but you're also, that bumps up and everything appreciates. And so does that rent that you're taking in each month, So I just think that's something to think about, is slowly that grows as well.
And I think that's one of the things that I would like to encourage, particularly first-time home buyers, is, yeah, it may be a pinch now, it may be a jagged little pill, but let's look at strategies that can get you into a house now, because what's going to happen is those rates drop. It's going to create increased activity in the market. And as Cassie, I'm sure, will tell you, we get rates starting to drop. Now we have multiple offers on properties, as opposed to, and we get shortened marketing periods.
Is that what you see happening, Cassie? When the rates go down, the competition gets up.
Absolutely. And that's kind of one of the things that I like to have in my pocket to say to people too, is, I can appreciate that you want to wait and see what rates do, but every time a rate drops, the interest in the buyer market goes up, and you're just going to have more and more competition, especially since first-time home buyers are already in such a competitive price range typically. So yeah, just waiting just does so many unfortunate things for your chances of getting into a home.
And that's why they created refinancing. When I bought my first house, it was like, I think it was 7 or 8% back in the day, the first one. And, as soon as they dropped down to 5 or something, we were in refinancing, and, that's kind of the name of the game, but you're still putting money in your own pocket. So Greg Hinkle, New American Funding. If you're looking for somebody to talk you through the dollars and cents and figure out how you get your mortgage and how you qualify, he's the guy. And I can plug her, can't I?
You absolutely can plug Cassie.
Cassie Smith with Keller Williams. Get a hold of her if you're looking and you just want to, it's never a bad thing to have a realtor on your side and kind of looking for you, because when that house pops up or that duplex comes in that says, the garages are in the middle, they're perfect, you don't have to be right next door to them. You want somebody who understands how that's going to work. And so you can give Cassie a call as well. Thanks you guys both for being here. I appreciate you.
Hey, Cassie, real quick, what's your phone number?
My phone number is 406-438-3323.
And if you want Greg's, it's right there. And you can go back and look at the video and find it. You guys, thank you very much for being with us. We'll see you later.